In 1978, a tagline made the boldest promise in movie history: "You'll believe a man can fly." And somehow, we did. This wasn't just the birth of Superman on the big screen, it was the dawn of modern superhero cinema. Yet, less than a decade later, the franchise faltered, trapped by tight budgets and wild tonal shifts. Today, we revisit all 9 Superman films, from the golden age of Reeve to the gritty modern reboots, uncovering how Superman, his stories, and his actors evolved over time. From box office triumphs to cinematic stumbles, this is the full flight path. Before we begin, one simple question. Who is your Superman? The bright idealism of Reeve, the haunted strength of Cavill, or the fresh promise of Corenswet? Drop your answer in the comments, and let's see if you still agree by the end. 1. Superman 1978. Imagine casting an unknown actor to play the most powerful hero on Earth. That's what director Richard Donner did with Christopher Reeve, and it paid off. Reeve's dual performance is still the gold standard. Gentle, bumbling Clark Kent transforms in a heartbeat into the poised and fearless Superman. He didn't play a hero, he embodied one. The film tells Superman's full origin: Krypton's destruction, a Kansas boyhood in Smallville, and his arrival in Metropolis as a journalist at the Daily Planet. Margot Kidder's Lois Lane is intelligent, tough, and refreshingly witty, not just a love interest, but a driving force in the story. Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor mixes menace with humor as he plots to sink California for profit. The critics loved it. Audiences were awed. It holds a 7.4 on IMDb and a stellar 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. It became the blueprint for every superhero film that followed. Hope wore a cape, and we believed.
I always forgot the timer since.
Oh, good night.
2. Superman 2, 1980. Would you give up your powers just to love one person? That's the soul of Superman 2. Clark Kent reveals his identity to Lois and sacrifices his powers to be with her, just as Earth faces invasion from 3 Kryptonian criminals. Led by the iconic General Zod, played with regal menace by Terrence Stamp, these villains match Superman in strength but lack all humanity. Their attack on Earth forces Clark to reclaim his identity and face impossible odds. Lois Lane, again portrayed by Margot Kidder, plays a larger emotional role. Her love both weakens and empowers the Man of Steel. Behind the scenes, the production was split. Donner was removed, and Richard Lester reshot major sequences, changing the tone. Still, the heart of the story endured. Critics praised its emotional weight and action. It holds a 6.8 IMDb rating and 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sometimes, the hardest choice is choosing who you want to be.
We really better talk. But I have to, because she's everything I want in life.
Immortal. You must become one of them.
Superman 3, 1983. What if Superman's greatest enemy was himself? That's the most compelling part of Superman 3. A misfired kryptonite experiment causes a psychological split, turning Superman bitter, reckless, even cruel. In a haunting scrapyard sequence, Clark Kent physically fights his darker half in a symbolic battle for identity. Christopher Reeve once again carries the emotional load, showing depth in both sides of the split. But everything around him unravels. Richard Pryor plays a tech-savvy everyman, manipulated by a cartoonish villain. The film swings into slapstick and absurdity, far from the mythic tone of the first 2 entries. Margot Kidder's Lois Lane is almost entirely absent, replaced by Lana Lang, played earnestly by Annette O'Toole, who offers Clark a grounded second chance at love. Critics were confused, fans were divided. It holds a 5.0 on IMDb and only 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. It made money, but lost momentum. Even the strongest stories can fall apart without balance.
Honey, you're stuck here. Help! What about me?
Machine that can find anybody's weak spot. Congratulations, old buddy.
Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, 1987. What if Superman tried to save humanity and the world laughed back? That's the tragedy of Superman 4. Christopher Reeve, now deeply tied to the character, returned not only to act but also to co-write, crafting a story where Superman vows to eliminate all nuclear weapons from Earth. It's a noble idea, but the execution fails spectacularly. Scenes were deleted, and the new villain, Nuclear Man, was a bizarre solar-powered clone with glowing nails and growls. It all looked unfinished. Margot Kidder returns as Lois, attempting to rekindle the emotional core, but the pacing and effects undermine even the most heartfelt moments. It bombed hard. Critics called it embarrassing. The film sank with a 3.7 IMDb score and a brutal 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. Even fans of Reeve struggled to defend it. The message was pure, but the movie wasn't ready.
And there will be peace. There will be peace when the people of the world want it so badly. Because when you really look at it, it's just one world.
2006. What if Superman came back and no one needed him anymore? That's the painful premise of Superman Returns, a spiritual sequel to the Reeve era. Brandon Routh steps in with quiet dignity, channeling Reeve's charm but adding vulnerability. Lois Lane, now played by Kate Bosworth, has moved on. She's got a son and a new partner. Lex Luthor, played by Kevin Spacey, returns to threaten the world with a continent-sized crystal weapon. The film leans heavily on nostalgia, from visuals to music to its soft-spoken tone. Some praised its emotional core. Others found it too slow. It performed decently, but not enough to revive the franchise long-term. It holds a 6.1 on IMDb and a respectable 72% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm sorry I left you, Lois.
Come on, let me hear you say it just once. Come on.
You're insane.
No!
6. Missy Mel V, 2013. What if Superman's greatest battle wasn't with an enemy, but with himself? Zack Snyder's Man of Steel reboots the myth for a darker age. Henry Cavill brings intensity and restraint, portraying Clark Kent as a wandering soul unsure of his place in the world. Amy Adams plays a sharp, capable Lois Lane, the first to uncover his secret. General Zod, played by Michael Shannon, isn't just a villain. He's a twisted patriot. Their battle wrecks Metropolis in a flurry of sound and fury. Some saw grit and weight, others missed the hope. It earned a 7.1 IMDb rating, but only 56% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sometimes you must break before you can become.
You're hemorrhaging internally. And if I don't cauterize this bleed, you will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive.
7. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, 2016. What happens when two gods go to war and no one wins? Here, Henry Cavill's Superman faces public backlash, moral judgment, and a paranoid Batman played by Ben Affleck. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman makes a surprise entrance and steals every scene she's in. Amy Adams returns as Lois, caught in a plot that spirals into chaos. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor manipulates fear to set the heroes against each other. The result, a brutal operatic showdown and the birth of the Justice League, but at a cost. Critics were divided. The film was too serious for some, too ambitious for others. It sits at a 6.4 on IMDb, but a low 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. When legends clash, it's truth that gets buried.
Luthor, he wanted your life for hers. She's losing time. A little busy.
This creature, seems to feed on energy.
All this time, I've been living my life the way my father saw it.
8. Salig, 2017. What happens when two visions clash and both lose? Justice League 2017 was meant to unite DC's heroes: Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, and a resurrected Superman. But when Zack Snyder stepped down during post-production, Joss Whedon took over and reshaped the film. The result? A rushed tone, inconsistent visuals, and characters stripped of depth. Superman's return lacked emotional weight, and Amy Adams' Lois Lane was barely present beyond a plot device. Though some action moments entertained, critics called it hollow. It underperformed at the box office and left fans disappointed. It holds a 6.1 on IMDb and just 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. A teen can't rise when its heart is missing.
I need warriors. I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
Let's go.
You did this. I had to. You won't let me live.
Glad I didn't miss this.
So am I.
Number 9. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021. Imagine demanding a cut of a movie and actually getting it. For 4 years, fans rallied for the original vision. In 2021, they got Zack Snyder's Justice League, a 4-hour epic that rebuilt what was lost. Superman's resurrection now has weight. His black suit return, his reuniting with Lois, and his presence in battle feel earned. Amy Adams brings subtle emotion, showing how grief reshapes love. The tone is darker, mythic, and far more coherent. Each hero gets a full arc. And Superman isn't just muscle, he's the moral anchor. Critics and fans embraced it. It scored a much stronger 8.0 on IMDb and 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, proving that second chances can work. Sometimes, the director's cut becomes the definitive one.
He spoke.
Did I not before?
I've never seen a being as strong as Steppenwolf.
I'd like to break this rule, but when I approach the speed of light, I
have turned 100,000 worlds to dust. It shall be so.
Number 10. Superman 2025. What does a modern Superman look like when hope is needed more than ever? Enter David Corenswet, the newest face of the Man of Steel. This film skips the origin and introduces a confident, compassionate Superman already active in the world. Directed by James Gunn, it mixes classic comic energy with modern ensemble storytelling. Rachel Brosnahan brings fresh fire to Lois Lane, while Nicholas Hoult debuts as a dangerous, calculating Lex Luthor. Early reactions highlight the film's optimism, humor, and emotional intelligence, a clear departure from the grim tone of past entries. It's not just a reboot, it's a new philosophy. Ratings are still pending, but anticipation is sky high. Sometimes, the future begins by remembering who you were. Across decades, Superman has done more than save lives. He's mirrored our values, struggles, and dreams. From Reeve's sincerity to Cavill's gravitas and Corenswet's promise, each version reflects its era. Some films soared, others stumbled, but the character endured because we still want to believe someone will catch us when we fall. Superman isn't just about strength, he's about choosing kindness when it's hardest. Now tell us, after everything you've heard, which Superman lives in your heart? Drop it in the comments and subscribe to the Celeb Spring for more deep dives like this.